Welcome adventurers and dungeon masters. This is the show where I create your next adventure tarot with Magic the Gathering cards. We're going to return to the Éowyn Shield Maiden deck, and this time I have removed all the lands, unless I forgot one. So we're going to place down 5 cards. First card determines the hero's objective. The second card determines the challenges or obstacles the hero faces. The third card determines an NPC that influences the story. The fourth card determines the big bad of the adventure. And the fifth card determines the reward of the adventure. Let's go ahead and turn over our hero's objective. Ojirtak, Deepest Foundation, legendary creature god. And we can take the name, the picture, or flavor text to use as our story prompt. Now we shouldn't put together an idea yet. One story prompt is not enough. So next, we take a look at our second card, which determines the challenges or obstacles. Clever Concealment. Okay, I'm getting a fun idea here coming up. Third card determines an NPC who's going to influence the story. Now this could be a good NPC or a bad NPC. Flame Rush Rider. This is fun. This is very, very fun. And our fourth card will determine the big bad of the adventure, and that would be Boromir, Gondor's Hope. Boromir, why are you such a bad boy? And finally, our fifth card determines the treasure or reward. The War Leader's Call. Okay, all right. We have our story pieces. Now we just need to take them, weave them together into an adventure you can take to your table or your next one-shot. I very much like the idea of the goal or the objective being a god. Let's say that the goal here, the objective, is that the heroes, for whatever their reason, whatever their greater narrative, the adventurers need to beseech a god for help. We'll say this is a lawful neutral god that can help them, but only if they make an appropriate plea, an appropriate case for why this god should help them in their greater adventure. Unfortunately, the god is cleverly concealed. This tells me that whether it's the god themselves or, no, let's say it's the god themselves, is concealed in a court. The players may successfully make it to a court, to a ballroom, to a high society meetup, and the god is cleverly concealed as not the main attraction or the central figure. Perhaps there is a body double or a simulacrum that is representing the god, and the god is actually hidden among the crowd. And this adventure represents a social deduction game where the players need to interact with various NPCs. Keep it small. You don't need a large number of NPCs, just enough to keep it challenging for your players. I recommend 5 to 7 NPCs that they interact with. Everyone else is just noise, or leads them back to your 5 main players. And the players have to determine which of these is going to give them, presented in a way that the players have to learn from these NPCs, ways they can win the god's favor. Maybe don't exactly reveal it. Make it a rumor. Make it a rumor that they learn, a whisper that maybe the god is not who they seem. So you want to make sure they have the information so they can discover it on their own, naturally. But this is the challenge. Flame Rush Rider. Now, Flame Rush Rider, the way I see this, would be let's say a warlike NPC. This is your rival. This is the person who is coming into this same setting. They've come to beseech the god as well. And their goal is to convince the god to either join their side or to stay out of the fight. And your heroes need to counteract this. Now, you as a GM can use this character as a sort of foil, as an example of how to engage with this social narrative. Maybe you have the rival interact with other members of the group and start trying to get clues or hints on how they can convince the god. Next, we have Boromir Gondar's Hope. He's going to be the big bad of your one-shot adventure. And he doesn't have to be evil. Let's say he's not evil. Let's say he is the voice of reason for this particular adventure, where he is convincing or trying to convince the god not to join the fight. His objective, his goal, is to keep the god out of the fight. And he will get in your hero's way every single time they try to directly approach the god or try to make a, even if it's a violent approach they try to take, and you have a barbarian or a warrior who's going to fight their way, he's going to be the one that stands in the way. So I recommend a high stat NPC, maybe a warrior type NPC, who will confront them as their obstacle. And the reward, of course, the war leader's call. Now, I think the direct line of the narrative can be interesting. You get the god to intervene on the fight. But I feel like when you are trying to intervene, when you're trying to get a deity to intervene in your story, it's a lot more interesting when the deity intervenes in a unique and interesting way. So in this particular case, I think their reward wouldn't be the deity necessarily joining their fight, but rather a magic item that brings maybe an angelic NPC that'll fight for them, and make it a mechanical thing. Make a magic item that'll have them bring in a powerful angel NPC that'll fight for them for 5 rounds in combat. Something that requires a long rest or even the next day to recharge before they can use again. You can make it as powerful or as weak as you want, but at least give them an NPC to fight by their side in combat. And that way, the reward of this adventure will stay with them and will have real and meaningful influence in the story to come. I feel like that will give you presence for why a god could be besieged or why a god would be influencing the game. And there you have it, the adventure of the deity's court. Please use this in your games, in your adventures, in your next one-shot. And if you've used any of the past adventures that I've shared with you, let me know how it went in the comments below. Thank you very much for joining us today, and good luck, adventurers.